Have you ever noticed that the phone has entered almost every corner of your life? I'm not talking about making calls. Most people hardly use their phone for that anymore. I do recall one of an episode while I was sitting with my friend on a railway station, railway tracks, at around 2 a.m. in the morning or night, you can say. And he told me that there will be a time when this cell phone will become, well, it will be used for many other purposes, but not for the calling. I was like, I don't know what he's talking about. He's gone mad probably. But I don't know I mean, why he came up with that thought or an idea, or maybe he had read it somewhere because he was a well-read person. And I'm living in these times right now. In fact, all of us are. I'm talking about scrolling. You may not be able to sit on a toilet seat without carrying your phone. You may keep it beside your plate while eating. You may keep it within arm's reach while watching TV. You may not even be having a conversation on it, yet it remains close, almost like an extension of your body. Kids do it, teenagers do it, adults do it. Even the parents and grandparents have started doing it. The phone has become the default answer to every free moment. If you have 30 seconds, you scroll. If you have 5 minutes, you scroll. If you are waiting for someone, you scroll. If you are bored, you scroll. If you are stressed, you scroll. Even if you are with friends in a restaurant, you scroll. And if you are tired of scrolling for hours, you scroll a little more. Sometimes you scroll until sleep takes over. The phone slips from your hands and lands onto your cheeks, your lips, your eyes, or your nose. You wake up, put the phone aside, sleep for a few hours, and the moment your eyes open again, your hand reaches for the phone. I know this because I struggle with this too. Scrolling is easy, scrolling is convenient, scrolling is always available. A book asks for effort, writing asks for effort, learning a skill asks for effort, even staying quietly for asks for effort. When you compare these activity to scrolling, everything else feels slow and tedious. Patience has evaporated. The moment a screen freezes for a few seconds, anxiety kicks in. What's even more interesting is how scrolling has started shaping conversations. You meet a group of friends and somebody says, I read it somewhere that. But did you really read it? Or did you watch a 30-second reel while lying in a bed at midnight? Many of things people claim to have read were actually consumed through endless scrolling. Then somebody else says the same thing because the algorithm has shown them the exact same reel. The algorithm is designed that way. Millions of the people are consuming the same content, having the same reaction, repeating the same opinion, and calling it knowledge. Now, don't get me wrong, a reel can be informative. A short video can teach something useful. The problem is not information. The problem is what comes after. One useful reel turns into 50 random reels. You start with the productivity and end up watching somebody else's carpet in some other country. Hours disappear, nothing gets done. Thousands of hours over a lifetime can vanish this way. Sometimes scrolling creates another trap, analysis paralysis, which I have discussed in a separate video. You consume so much information that you never take action. You watch video about fitness but do not exercise. You watch video about writing but do not write. You watch video about business but never start that project. You watch video about life but never live. So, what should you do when you have free time and you're not scrolling? The first simple answer is be bored. Yes, it seems ridiculous, but be bored. You do not need constant stimulation. You do not need every second filled with an entertainment. Some of your best ideas arrive when nothing is happening. Sit quietly, take a walk, Look outside the window, let your mind wander. The second thing you can do is read one page, not 100 pages, one page. The goal is not to finish a book today. The goal is to give your mind something deeper than a reel. A good book can introduce you entirely to a different world, a different perspective, a different way of thinking. Your mind naturally thinks about same thing repeatedly, same worries, same frustration, the same pain. A book interrupts the cycle. It introduces new ideas. The third thing you can do is to listen. Lately, I've started listening to the podcast and audiobooks. Sometimes I listen to my own podcasts to improve it. Sometimes I listen to an audiobook. The experience is different from scrolling. It's slower, it requires attention, it allows your ideas to develop instead of attacking your brain every few seconds. And the slowness is exactly why it's valuable. The fourth thing you can do is to write. Write your thoughts, write your goals, write about your day, write about a memory, write about your future you want to create. Writing forces you to think clearly. It slows down noise, it helps you to discover what is actually going on in your mind. The truth is that scrolling gives you intensity, reading gives you depth, writing gives you clarity, listening gives you perspective. Scrolling can excite you or drain you within minutes. A book changes you gradually. A podcast expands your thinking gradually. A journal improves your awareness gradually. The effects are slower, but they last longer. So the next time you find yourself reaching for a phone during a moment, pause for a second. Ask yourself, do I want stimulation or do I want growth? Do I want hours to disappear or do I want to remember something meaningful from today? You don't have to quit your phone. You don't have to become a monk. You just create few moments each day where you choose something slower. Read a page, listen to a chapter, write a chapter, take a walk, sit with your thoughts, go slow, be bored, because the life you want is rarely built in the endless scroll. It is usually built in those quiet moments when you finally put the phone down and give your attention to something that actually matters.